Derita, derita, derita. Stop, stop, stop. Okay, okay. Hop, 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 hop. No le mueva. Asparagus.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Stephanie and welcome back to my channel. So in the video today, I wanted to address the question of whether I am addicted to caffeine since I started PA school. And also, if you're curious to see how much did I spend on coffee since I started my didactic year. So let's get into it. So I started my didactic year in August of 2018. So it is currently, when I'm recording this video, it's August of 2019. So it's been a year since I started my didactic year. And to be honest with you guys, it flies by so quick. And just like yesterday, I felt like I just got my white coat. So if you're in didactic year, it's going to fly. It goes by so fast because you're just so busy studying all the time. You lose track of time. So it has gone by so fast. Now, before I started PA school, I never drank coffee. I never drank caffeine, anything that had caffeine. None of that. I didn't do any of that. I didn't drink coffee because I was very self-conscious that it stained teeth. I know some people say it doesn't, etc. But I was just very self-conscious, and still am very self-conscious about my teeth. So that's why I didn't like taking coffee. And I didn't like caffeine because I didn't like how it made me feel. It made me feel very jittery. On top of that, I have heart issues, so I have tachycardia and my heart is always beating more than 100 beats per minute. So if I take caffeine, it gets even worse and it makes me lightheaded sometimes. So that's why I never took any type of caffeine. I didn't like coffee. This was now before I started PA school. So when I started PA school, I found myself that I couldn't last during the day because we were in class from 8 to 4, sometimes 8 to 5 p.m. or 8 to 6 p.m. And I was just exhausted by the time it hit 4 or 3 p.m. I was so tired. And in order to stay awake, to be able to study the rest of the day, specifically on exam days, to be able to study till 12 at night, I found myself that I wasn't able to stay awake. So I then started taking coffee or drinks that contained caffeine. So that was the only way I could stay up. On top of that, I live with my family while attending PA school, and I found that I can't study at home because I get very distracted easily. And on top of that, my bed seems like it's very, very comfortable. So I always want to lay in it and I want to sleep. I love napping, I love sleeping. So just studying at home was not good for me. So I always found myself studying at libraries or more at coffee shops, since most of the coffee shops close a little bit later, like Starbucks closes at midnight versus the library closes at 9. So usually once the library closed, I would find myself driving to Starbucks because they close later. On top of that, I like the environment, the smell, and I was able to get coffee also to help me stay up a little bit later to study. So I have to say that when I started PA school, I did find myself drinking more caffeine, specifically more coffee, even though I was so against it, but it was the only way I could stay up and I could stay focused. And I also find myself that if I woke up early, like at 6 or 7 a.m. to study, specifically when I had exams on Monday, like on weekends, if I went to a coffee shop and I had a drink, a shot of espresso or etc., cappuccino, I found myself like I was more focused on studying, on what I was studying, learning. I felt like I grasped more of the information. Now, this may have not been due to the caffeine, but I did feel like whenever I did have caffeine or a coffee drink, I was more focused on studying, specifically in the mornings. Usually by 3 or 4 or 5, I felt like the drink or the caffeine wore off, so you would find myself drinking another coffee or another caffeine drink. So yes, I feel like I have been drinking a lot of caffeine since PA school started so that I can stay awake and be able to study more and retain more and be more efficient and not feel as drowsy and as tired during the day. There would be times though, I'll be honest, specifically on exam weeks, where I was studying so much, I was just so tired. So I would take power naps for like max 30 minutes, and then after that I woke up and I felt so refreshed. but most of the time I was taking a lot of caffeine, specifically on exam weeks also. During that exam week, I would be at Starbucks almost every day, and the baristas, I already knew my name, and they knew what drink I had, but I made it a point that whenever I went to Starbucks or just any coffee shop in general, I was at Starbucks the majority of the time. Since it was closer to my home and it was one of the coffee shops that closed a little bit later, I made sure that I got something new every single time I went. That way I wasn't getting accustomed to the drink, getting grossed out to the drink. So I would have frappuccinos, and I always got an extra shot of espresso. And I have to say, Starbucks is very expensive. Just for example, if I had like a medium drink of an espresso, I would pay $6, and that was with this extra shot of espresso. So it adds up, specifically on certain days where I would get more than 2 coffee drinks, or I would get 3 or even 4. It really adds up. So that's why I wanted to see how much I spent on coffee since I started my didactic year. And so what I did is that I went through my account and I added up all the drinks. And actually it's pretty cool because Chase does it for you. So you can just go and you edit it and you mess with it, and it'll show you how much you've spent on just coffee in general. So this is the amount that I've spent on coffee since I started PA school. Yeah, so that's how much I spent since I started PA school. It's more than $1,000. I think that's just crazy. I know for sure on finals, like there would be 2 or 3 weeks where we have our exams and then we have finals. During that week, I would spend so much money on coffee because it was just exam after exam after exam after exam, and I couldn't stay awake. So I was just drinking coffee all the time, and I got accustomed to buying, which were really bad. I got accustomed to buying those, it's the triple shots, that's what they're called, at Walmart. So I would buy those and then I would just take them to class and I would just drink them the entire day. Sometimes I would even drink 2 of them, and it was the only thing that was keeping me going because I would wake up like at 6:30 in the morning and then go to sleep at 12. Usually I tried to go to sleep by 12, no later than 12, because I found myself that I wasn't functioning after 12 at night. So that's still a pretty long day, and to repeat the same thing the next morning, to go to sleep at 12, wake up like at 6 or 6:30, that adds up. Specifically if you've been doing it for 2 weeks, it starts adding up. So I felt myself exhausted by the end of the week. I was just so tired because it just starts adding up. So the only thing that kept me awake was caffeine. So on my weeks off, like this week that I have off in August, I make sure I drink a lot of water so I can just flush out all that caffeine out of my body. One of my classmates is a nutritionist, and she also never drank caffeine. She always did natural stuff, and after she started PA school, you could see her drinking caffeine all the time because it was the only way that we could stay awake. And so yeah, that's just crazy to see how much money I've spent on caffeine. Coffee since I started PA school. I personally don't like soda or anything that is carbonated, so I never bought those Monster drinks or the Red Bulls or anything like that because I don't like anything that's carbonated. But some of my classmates would just drink Monster after Monster after Monster, or the Bangs, and I couldn't do that. So I stuck more to the coffees and to the triple shots, to double shots, etc. Every coffee brand you can see at the store I grabbed. I don't even know the names, but whether they were HEB store, HEB is a store in Texas, HEB brand, etc., Walmart brand, I had everything that had caffeine when I tried to save money. Now, when I didn't have time to go to the store to stock up on my caffeine drinks, then I would go to Starbucks, or when I just got tired of drinking them, the canned drinks, then I would go to Starbucks. Or if I needed a place to study, Starbucks. But yes, I was at Starbucks all the time. My first home, of course, is a home I live in. Second home, I would say the library, and my third home definitely was Starbucks because I was there all the time. So yeah. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Now, this is not the case for every student, but I think it is the case for the majority of the students. I did not like coffee. I avoided it as much as I could before I applied to PA school. And interestingly, I used to work overnight shifts. I worked overnight shifts for like 2 years, and I still didn't drink coffee. I made sure I stayed away from it, and I would see the nurses and the ER docs just like piling on the pre-workout so they can stay up the entire night, and I was just like, nope, 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 nope. But for PA school, I couldn't do it. I was so mentally exhausted. I needed that boost. I needed that caffeine to stay awake, and yeah. Alright guys, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you guys have any comments or anything like that for me, make sure you comment below, shoot me an email. If you guys like these videos, give them a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe. I try to make weekly videos. That way you guys enjoy them on frequently asked questions or just about my experience applying to PA school, my advice applying to PA school, and how PA school has been for me. Alright guys, I'll talk to you guys later.